Sup traders. In this video, I'm working on my altcoin strategy a little bit. This is a little bit unscripted, impromptu, and I'm not here to focus on selling you anything. I'm just kind of focusing on where where we're at and where I think maybe we can go from here. So I have a system that's mechanical, but it's very flexible. And what we're seeing on the chart right now is this is the total three market cap, the crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH on the 1 day. And the only thing that I have on the chart right now is the 200 SMA, which to me is a very interesting line. Um, and I use it as a filter for breakouts, not necessarily on the total crypto market cap, but on charts themselves, and I think using it on the crypto total market cap is a pretty good idea. And the idea is to only trade breakouts that are above the 200 SMA. So, and for altcoins, I don't buy dips. I don't like the strategy of buying dips. It may or may not be profitable, but I'll buy dips on Bitcoin and ETH. Not on alts because there's too many of them and they can go to zero. So the idea for this strategy is to long breakouts above the 200 SMA, okay? So long breakout above the 200 SMA would keep you out of the market during this entire time, would get you back in here for this small rally. It would keep you under, you wouldn't buy the dip, but you would end up starting to buy breakouts in this area and then get launched in the 2020 bull run and probably have a number of failed breakouts at the high here in July 2021, fall under. We never closed over the SMA, but it's possible maybe there's been a couple losses under here, but basically it would have kept us out of the market from January 22 all the way to January 2023, 1 year out of the market, and re-enter and buy breakouts in here, which may or may not have worked that well depending on the assets. And starting to buy breakouts again in October 2023, where it has worked amazing since then. As of where we are now, breakouts are still in play. We're above the total crypto market cap. We may clear this and reach new highs. We may or may not. We might go to new highs. We might not. I'm not necessarily going to predict, but if we do something like this where we just spend time above this, maybe fail to make a new high. By the way, my dog's making funny noises behind me. Nolani, you're a funny dog. She's a funny dog. Um, so if prices just kind of ranges, it's still possible to make a lot of money in alt breakouts by picking the strong ones and ignoring the weak ones. But not always, but a lot of the time, the best money is going to be made when price spends a long time under the 200 SMA and starts to close over. It wasn't necessarily the case here, but we can see it's under, it's under, it's under, it's over, it's under, and when it breaks out, that's when we have insane rally. Same thing in this cycle. Price was under for quite a long time. Had a couple weak rallies underneath or over, and then finally when it started to spend significant time over, it really blasted off. So from here, let's do something mechanical. And let's start with Bitcoin actually. I'm going to turn off the paper trading here. Let's log out of this. Paper trading, log out of paper trading. Hide drawings. So we have the 200 SMA. Now I'm going to turn on my special indicator and I'm going to turn off the dip buy. And I'm going to just have the breakout buy and I'm going to have the failed breakout. Okay. So let's look at the equity situation here. What's going on? Why can't I make this go up or down? Okay. So max drawdown of 36%, 3,000% gain, 53% profitable, 2.6 profit factor, pretty great. I'm interested in seeing what happens if we crank up the leverage a little bit, the position sizing. Let's do even more. So at points, I mean, we're doing pretty similar to Bitcoin from this strategy. The problem, we'll look at some alts, but most alts just, there's not enough price history to do this. Um, okay, so I'm gonna play with some parameters. Whether you team up with me or not, you need to get computer backtesting because things that you assume to be the case may or may not be. So first, let's look at, for Bitcoin, what's better, the close or the high? So right now we're at $13 million in profit. Definitely looking for a close is going to be better. Interesting. Yeah, we go from 13 to 4 million. So we want to look for a close. Let's see if there's a minimum age that works better than 5 for Bitcoin. 15 improves it quite a bit, okay? So now look, that's actually crazy. I'm gonna have to share this with my group. This is really good, actually interesting. So the when I actually removed the dip buy, it actually improved results, which is crazy because the dip buy by itself is super profitable. Um, that's insane. And also, let's see what happens if we do this. Sometimes the sweet spot of risk is a little bit smaller. Wow, that's crazy. Outperform Bitcoin with only a 38% drawdown. I'm actually going to share this with the private group. We'll give you a little bit of insight on the inside of this. Okay, let's look at general chat. Market timing professionals. Super interesting, but I'm playing around with the breakout and short strategy focus. And while the dip buy strategy is very profitable, I was able to get superior returns on BTC with that off. Um, check this out. Outperform BTC buy and hold with a less than 40% max drawdown. Okay, so this is one reason to work with a group. Okay, so let's see what else we can. I didn't really change that much, right? I set that to 15. Let's look at some other things. So I'm gonna play around with some settings, and then we're gonna try them on ETH, and then we're gonna go to altcoins. What if the breakout day needs to be at least 30 days? No, I found 15 to be the sweet spot for that. Oh, 5. Prices supposed to be over the 200 SMA, right? Does that improve things? It actually doesn't. That's really surprising. Why is that? Okay, 100 seems to work. Okay, let's try trailing the stop. I don't think that's gonna work. Doesn't work. Interesting how badly that works. It like takes away all the profit. So we're gonna trail on the pyramiding entry. Average trade is 90 days. Long hold times. So 3.5 ATR stop. Right now we're at 26. No, yeah, just lowering the stop really hurt it. So 3.5 seems to be the sweet spot. Let's play around with that. Try 3.6. Wait, what happened? I thought we were at, yeah, okay. 3.6, 3.4. I think 3.2 is pretty good. 30, okay, that's even better. 3.3. Wow, why did it make such a difference? We'll just stick with 3.5, round it out. It doesn't need to be perfect, totally optimized. So this stuff doesn't really matter very much. Making that 30 is pretty good. Let's try under the 100 SMA. Interesting. Interesting. So switching this to the 100 SMA really improved results. So let's do the SMA. Um, so I want to test this with ETH because I don't want to over optimize for Bitcoin. Wait, what? I'm gonna turn off the breakout right now and just look at that lost money. Okay. What? That makes no sense. Maybe it kept us out of some breakouts or something. Okay, 200 works better. So why would turning this off improve returns? I'm guessing it's because that doesn't make any sense to me. It prevented us from getting into a trade somewhere. Turning this, it's so weird that this made money, but turning it off was profitable. That doesn't make sense to me. How can it be that this made money, failed breakout enabled? Why isn't it showing this trade? Inputs 200. I see. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Okay. Check this out. So this might change things. So let's set the breakout day to 200. Okay. And now our short works. Okay, now the short works. Okay. Solve that confusion there. The SMA filter at 100 for breakout prevented the that from working. So what else? So already had this. I want to trail on pyramiding entry 2. Makes no difference here. Okay. So let's look at ETH now. ETH not working as well. It didn't capture this trend nearly as well, or this one underperformed. I don't know that the shorts did anything either. Let's look at the shorts. Did the short do anything? Short didn't work. Let's turn off the short for now. We're going to look at a number of altcoins soon, but I'm just going through. So let's look at the breakout buy and test a couple things. See if from the 200, the 100 is better. The 200 is better. And by the way, we are underperforming it, but our drawdown is 35%, which is, so if we crank our leverage, we might start to perform better. Let's see. Yeah. So if we crank our leverage, actually we outperform, it looks like, roughly. Equal returns. It didn't work as well in this bull run, but also our drawdown, 68% might look like a lot, and it is, but we're comparing it to ETH, which had an 85% drawdown, 90% drawdown. So high, what's better, close or high here? The close is definitely better by a lot. Um, I found 15 to work pretty well. Let's take a look at 30 and 5. 30's worse, 5's worse. We want it to be the same settings for Bitcoin and ETH. 5 works about the same as 15. We had the 200 SMA. Let's see if 3.4 worked better. It worked a little better for Bitcoin. No, works worse. Maybe we want a wider stop. Try 4. It looks like 3.5, yeah, is consistently pretty good. Let's try trailing, which ruined it for Bitcoin. Yeah, not very good. Okay, so the breakout, why did that not work? The failed breakout might have just been a loser. 2 trades at negative 56%. Let's look at those trades. So there was a losing short right here, which is crazy big, and then there was a losing short in here. So it didn't trigger any trades. Other than that, um, unfortunately, we didn't have any trade triggers in here. And we also didn't, in here there would have been a trigger right here, but we were over the SMA. I feel like that should have triggered right here. I'm curious why it didn't. I want to see the levels. Okay, we're having a problem with the indicator not showing the levels. Why didn't that sell? Crossed but not closed above. I don't think this is going to do anything. Okay, well, it didn't trigger for whatever reason. I thought it should maybe trigger right here too. Although it wouldn't necessarily work that well there. Okay. So now let's focus mostly on the breakout, but we have settings that work well for both Bitcoin and ETH, which we already had before. Close is a little bit better. Minimum age of crossed highs. I'm gonna share this. Um, so you can beat the market, just breakout only, but let's turn it off for a minute. Um, and drop this down, and I want to look at uh, with the dip buy on and turn off the breakout buy. The dip buy is not nearly as good. Are there any? So we're at 1. Okay, low recovery. 1.1. Low is for sure better. I found that trailing the stop, no, was bad. 1.1 right now, 3. 3, putting it to 3 really improves it for ETH, but also I think, does this need to be 200? I think it's supposed to be 100. Okay. Now it looks pretty good. So we can have the dip buy on with the breakout buy, and we're um, absolutely crushing the returns. We're gonna turn to altcoins here pretty soon. What about 3.5? Because I want to look at Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin really liked 3.5, but yeah, this is pretty big drawdown. 3 gonna tank it? Still wins. So maybe 3 is a little bit better. Minimum age of crossed low. Just changing this. I think increasing it maybe helped. Yes. Okay. Putting this at 15 was really helpful. Um, let's put this back to 5 for ETH and C. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share this. Now Bitcoin with dip buy back on. Setting the minimum uh, age for dip buy of level for 15 days really helped. Do I have put it at 3.5 now? Holy shit. Yo, that's crazy. What did I change that made this work so well? Um, basic settings. These are the best results I've seen. Absolutely crush. Absolutely crush. This is the best back test I've got so far. Okay, let's look at ETH. How does ETH do with these settings? So, I mean, for ETH, it doesn't work as well. So I'm trying not to over optimize, right? So for ETH, what works better is a ATR of 3. Works a lot better. And minimum age 15 is fine. I think I kind of optimized this one already, right? 200, big difference. 100 is better. And I think the SMA, let's try the 200 and 100 instead of the 200. No, 200 is the way to go. Let's try the 250. 200 is the way to go. Okay, so the back test is looking better with Bitcoin than ETH, but it's okay. Okay, let's take the dip buy off for now. And now let's look at some alts. So let's start with BNB. Why is it not working? Let's just go back to trading view. Breakout on, well, we're randomly on the Japanese stock market, which underperformed buy and hold, but was profitable. Well, we only had 15% drawdown, so actually on risk-adjusted returns, this probably overperformed. Let's increase the position size and see. Yeah, I think, although I don't know if it's possible to risk so much, even. Let's go back to those awesome Bitcoin results. turn the dip buy back on. And then there's one more thing I wanted to check, which is the pyramiding. Is 5 better? No. Is 10 better? Interesting. 10 has us at 38 million. 20 has us at 120 million. Then beyond that, it doesn't matter. Because we're not pyramiding that much. Okay. Dip buy. Turn that off. Bring the size down. And I want to look at alts now. So now we have settings that we can agree work good with auto price history. Let's try to look at alts now. So here, this looks really promising actually on BNB. Let's crank up the position size. Why did it do that now? I don't know why it's getting the error, but the first reading looked good. The strategy didn't generate any orders? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because it definitely did. Array is out of bounds. Okay, well here's what we can do. I have a beta indicator, and we'll play with the beta indicator. So let's go to Bitcoin. Uh, and make version 1 look like version 2. So it should be the same. Breakout buy. Enabled. Okay, we're going to turn off the dip buy. We're going to turn off these levels. We're going to turn off the failed breakout. We're going to focus on the breakout buy. Close is set to close. 15, max age 1000, price 200 SMA, 3.5 R ATR 100. Okay, it should be the same. Let's check to see. 30. It should give the same results. 7 million. We're on the wrong one. Here's Bitcoin. 3 million. It's not giving the same. Well, one reason might be the pyramiding. Oh, this one. Properties, 30 pyramid. 6 million. It should be the same. Maybe there's some small differences. But if we look at the breakout buy, it should be, I'll make sure we have roughly the same settings. Everything else is turned off. High cross by close. Minimum age is 15. 1,000, 10,000, 3.5 ATR stop, 100 x ATR, 10,000 risk reward ratio. Okay. 59 trades compared to 56 trades. 200 SMA. Okay, well, it doesn't need to be perfect. I'm kind of not understanding why it's slightly different, but this is good enough. So we're going to use the beta to look at alts. Let's use the beta to look at alts. Okay, it's working. So here we see that it wasn't hugely profitable. It did make money, not as good as buy and hold though. Um, let's play with the parameters a little bit. I have the settings that I like, but I want to play around with the alts with longer history now. Okay, I'm gonna go into the dark, so you cannot see my face. It's okay. Um, so first off, I want to actually turn on the dip buy and see if that improved things. And What? Why isn't it? Why wouldn't the dip buy do anything? Something is wrong here. Dip buy, come on. Show me the dip buy. So the dip buy is good. We're still underperforming. I'm gonna play around with it a little bit. The goal isn't to outperform, but I want to look at the chart and kind of see why this might have not worked. It also could be there's a weird short issue here. What happened during this? Um, it looks like running a wider stop would have been very helpful because it would have kept us in right here. So let me try changing the stop by just a little bit, widening the stop. Try, this is for the dip buy. Okay. That's a breakout right there. So for the breakout buy, what about a 4 ATR stop? Suddenly we're in this whole move. That made a ridiculous change, right? How much did that change in terms of profit though? Pretty significant, right? Let's take a look here. Um, Turning the breakout buy on and off, or sorry, changing this back to 3.5. So it's at 1 million. Yeah, doubled the profitability. We'll see what it takes to really clear that hurdle. Yeah, just 3.6. So we're at 1 million. 50% profitable trades. Still underperforming a little bit. I'll try a couple things. Is the high better than the close? Doesn't make a huge difference. Typically the close is better. Is the close better than the low? Usually the low is better. Close actually made this uh, profitable, so I'm gonna keep a note of that. But okay, and then let's look at the SMA. It makes sense. You want more confirmation for alts for a dip buy. Um, but that's interesting that that worked. Now I'm interested in just focusing on the breakout strategy. Actually, now look at the breakout strategy. Interesting, super interesting. So when I have the dip buy on, we underperformed. Actually, the dip buy was unprofitable. Hello? It wasn't unprofitable. When it set at the low, it basically did nothing. I don't really understand why it would take away though. So if we just have the breakout buy, all of a sudden, all of a sudden we're outperforming. We increase the size. Now we're beating, although it looked kind of better with a little bit smaller actually. Yeah, now we matched BNB's performance with less drawdown. And the only thing I changed the stop loss from 3.5 to 3.6. That was all, and that's all it took to keep us in here. One more thing we can test is typically this breakout day is good at 15. I'm curious if we change it to 5, what that would do. Doesn't make a huge difference, and we change it to 30. Is much worse. We'll leave it at 5. And yeah, that looks absolutely awesome. I'm going to take this to Twitter. Entry here. Entered here. exit here. Copy it. Whatever. Absolutely beautiful automated BNB trade. I'm sure that in the Discord too. Look at this beautiful BNB trade. Yeah, testing alts and dip buy seems to be not super profitable compared to breakouts. Okay, so let us now look at it a little bit. So we're outperforming with these settings, and then we're gonna look at a couple other alts, the best ones. But see, there's some really great trades that happen in here. And we're actually out of the market for a lot of the time. Here we got stopped out, but that's okay. It didn't really matter. This trade was a couple disappointing trades here. This trade didn't really go very far. And then, yeah, I mean, really all the money was made in that one big pyramid position and then just bled out. I mean, that's what BNB has done as well. And then we're in a winning position now that's got advanced, right? So here, what happened here? I guess we got stopped out by a lot here. It wasn't that close. Okay. Now let's look at one that has a lot of history, which is maybe Doge. I don't know what exchange has the longest history. Let's look at Binance. What has more history, Binance or, yeah, let's look at Binance. So how is it compared to buy and hold? Similar. Um, we have a 50% drawdown and Doge had a much bigger drawdown. This is a more attractive equity curve that we have. I could crank up the leverage, but let's go ahead and take a look. And this is what I want to see. I want to see the same parameters working without major changes. So doing nothing here is fine. We have this breakout that runs, and it runs, and we get stopped out from Doge at the high here, bleeds down. There's a failed breakout here, and then there's no trade for the longest time. There's a failed breakout here. There's a failed breakout here. There's a failed breakout here. More failed breakouts. And then what we've got a winning trade here, a failed trade here. So what? I mean, in theory, 28 trades, 32% are profitable, but it was almost all from that one big spurt. And I mean, that's where the money is made on Doge, right? It had one eruption and then hasn't done that much since. But just out of curiosity, I mean, still profitable, so I'm happy with that, right? That's what I want to see. And comparable to buy and hold, which is good. I want to turn on the dip buy and see if that did anything. Interesting, the dip buy was really good combined with the breakout buy. That gave us superior returns, but I don't know why almost. Because let's look at the dip buy. The dip buy, yeah, I guess you combine them and it makes a difference because you throw in another 500% gain. So the dip buy, what did the dip buy do? The dip buy had another entry here that did awesome and TP'd and then had a loss. Well, it had an insane dip buy here actually. It's still in it. So the dip buy on Doge would have bought here. That stop loss looks insanely wide, but that's a crazy stop. 87% stop? That doesn't seem right. Oh, we don't have dip buy on. It's just we're gonna break out. How is it 87% though? Wait, I wanted to look at the dip buy. Oh yeah, but as far as the breakout buy, it showed us underperforming. Wait, I'm so confused. Oh, I had the wrong thing set. Okay, dip buy is enabled. Only 7 trades. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Um, it doesn't count this, but this is insane winner that's running right now. I don't know how the this can possibly be 70% though, because the ATR is supposed to be 3 point. I guess so. I guess when it entered here, 3.5 ATR was almost all the way down here because um, the average daily volatility was really insane. It still doesn't look quite right here though. What is that? The dip buy is supposed to be. It says 3.5 ATR with looking back 200 days. Let's put it at 100. Does that improve things or hurt things? It improves things. So 100, putting the ATR at 100. Wait, minus 55%. Well, now it's showing minus 55% because of this loss right here. However, this position is open, and this position would be up multiples, but the strategy tester does not account for open positions. So what was the change I just made? We'll set it back to 200. But now we're seeing together 91% drawdown is too much though. Let's try to put it at 25. 75% is a lot, but how much did Doge draw down from the high here? What was the maximum drawdown? 90%. Okay. Doge have dip buy and breakout turned on here. But yeah, all the money is made. Well, I mean, the money's made on the right side of the chart too, where we are. So what else do we want to look at? Let's look at, I don't want to look at XRP. Let's look at Solana. Solana, Coinbase. Where is it? The longest history. Let's try to find that. KuCoin, no. Let's Solana. Let's look at Coinbase. Also, so there's an issue with the SMA. So first let's look though and see. Yeah, we actually outperformed because we made so much here, but I think we can improve it further. So here's the thing, this SMA filter should be off in here, and then we could have longs in here. But if we turn it off, it's going to screw us up over here. But let's play around with it a little bit. Um, but we have overperformance on Solana right now. 400,000. That doesn't seem right though. What is my equity setting right here? 100,000 as a 4x? This isn't right. Yeah, something looks not right because it's up. Yeah, it's up about 4x as well from the listing. It's not showing that. I think it's measures from the first trade, which, yeah, from the first trade, it hasn't really moved. So I'm going to try here. I'm going to try turning off the SMA filter, or at least reducing it, and seeing what's going to happen. Reduce this filter to 5. So that would still not get us in the market here. 500%. Okay. Well, let's just focus on what we have. Um, Still, we outperform from the. I guess I think it measures from the first trade, not the chart history. So that's something that I learned. I set the price over the SMA to 5. Generally don't like that. So let's try turn off the dip buy. Also, oh, I forgot to do this with BNB. I want to look at the failed breakout. The failed breakout was really excellent. Stop was a little more than necessary. Stop is a bit wider than necessary. Yeah, I think I found three. Yeah, I like 3.5 here. Um, it looks like making it maybe around 4 would improve on the second trade. Again, I'm not trying to over optimize. I'm just trying to get a feel. But generally having it around 3 3.5 is I found to be the doing the best for me, but 4 seems pretty good here. 4 trades 100% profitable, so there's no profit factor. Pretty good. Okay, now let's turn that on. Let's go back to BNB and look at that because I wanted to see that. It didn't work very well here, but didn't do a whole lot either. There was a nice trade here, and then some losing trades elsewhere. But still, probably helpful to run it because it's going to help you when it helps you. Now let's go back to Solana on Coinbase. Do we have more history now? Perfect. Actually, I'm going to add this to the watch list. Okay, so we have more history. Maybe this is going to give us a more interesting results now. Um, let's turn off. Let's turn off this and focus on the breakout buy now. Is it producing trades? It is. How does the breakout buy compare? It's showing it to be, oh my God, 15% max drawdown for $13 million, 13,000%. Jesus, that is crazy. Um, so it went from $2 to $100, right? 160. So it's an 80x, but we're looking at a 130x. And we haven't even optimized for it. I haven't even turned on the dip buy, which might add even more. Although the dip buy and the short don't work together. Now we've got 22x. Um, Looks pretty good, right? And this isn't counting this open pyramid long position, which would be doing absolute work. Solana looks really good. I'm gonna share this one too. Solana looks super good. Solana, um, yeah, I mean, the drawdowns might have been better with the other one actually. But it's not counting the open position. So oil with the indicator looks amazing. Um, I'm not sure that it was better with dip buy though, actually. I mean, obviously we make more, but holy shit, yo, this is crazy. Actually, um, I want to crank up the leverage, but I'm curious. It's like running the stop a little bit wider would be helpful here. So I don't want to over optimize, but what does it take to stay with that position and would it help? 3.6 is all we needed with BNB. Try 4. Oh, it's gonna be too much then. What? I'm on the wrong one. I'm on dip buy. No wonder I'm gonna be on breakout buy. 3.6. We're putting at 4. Keep us with that? No. So it's probably gonna be too much. Let's look though. So we're at 18 million compared to 13 million. Yeah, running wide stops is the way to go, I guess. Here. Um, let's increase the position size so we get a comparable drawdown. Okay. Pretty incredible reading on Solana here with the dip buy turned off. Just gonna spam. I'm spamming Twitter right now. Yo, that's crazy. Crazy. Absolute pandemonium. Okay, so let's move on to what else? We can look at XRP. What's like the oldest? We need a lot of price history going way back. XRP is kind of trash though. So here it didn't do hardly anything, but also has just been kind of terrible. I'll play around with it. I'll see. Does turning the dip buy on help? But this is why having the right assets is important too. No, the dip buy actually 67. Okay, there's an error, weird error. Okay, what's going on? I see, we have too much risk. So let's put it here. 132,000. Does turning the dip buy on make us money or not? Wow, all of a sudden, so for XRP, the dip buy is really good. Also for the breakout buy though, it's supposed to be 3.5. Failed breakout off. Well, you can't have the failed breakout and the dip buy at the same time. Okay. Dip buy. I thought I saw it that we outperformed. Well, maybe not an out overperformance, but still pretty good. So let's increase the size now to 35 because our drawdown isn't that much. Interesting that increasing the position size actually reduced the amount of money we made there. That's interesting. Probably because yeah, why? Um, yeah, the problem here is we held this thing and never got stopped out. So I want to turn this one off and go to this one because in theory, and turn the dip buy on. In theory, we're supposed to have a dip buy. Why is there no dip buy in here? I thought there was one. What's my stop? Oh, okay, because it never advanced to the stop. Well, that's interesting. Um, Interesting. So this one actually didn't work on XRP. Let's turn off the breakout buy. Ah, okay. Um, let's not do this. Reduce our equity to 30. Still, why are we not able to stick with this? So here we needed a much wider stop in order for this to work. 3.5 is what we had been doing. I don't know. I'll try 4, but yeah, maybe I'm telling you XRP is just not the one. Why didn't we get in on this, but we got in on this one? I think because the minimum age is different. Minimum age here is 15. Change it to 5 on this one. Why is this one taking the buy, but the other one isn't? Is it a dip buy, breakout buy? Because close? Because it's set to close is why. Okay. Change the dip buy to close. All of a sudden we're in there. Okay. Now it looks pretty good. Let's see if we can adjust the settings to keep us with it. So yeah, close seems to work better for the dip buys. At 3.5 ATR, we begin to trail. Yeah, there's no way. Let's try trail and pyramid entry. Does that... Now we're absolutely crushing. We end up getting stopped out. Do we hit TP actually? I have it set to 10,000. Do we hit it? Do we hit 10,000? Is that what happens up there? No. I think, oh yeah, okay. 1,000 actually gets hit. That's why it does so well. Wow. I have it randomly set at 1,000 and it hits. Um, that's crazy. Well, let me adjust that as well and look. What if instead of 1,000, I set it to 100? No. But what we're seeing is the dip buy works a lot better. 1,000 R is crazy. Um, Now let's turn on the breakout buy also. And for whatever reason, oops, is it better or worse with the breakout buy off? So we're out, yeah, it's better. Is the breakout buy losing here? No, but somehow it gets in the way. I don't understand. Maybe it's the sizing issue. It's funny I set the risk reward ratio at 1,000 and it, oh, that's probably why it underperforms. So if I set this to 1,000 and turn this on, uh, still it's not as good. 27 compared to, no, it's better. 12 to 27, there's just a bigger drawdown. Okay. And that actually is more realistic because now we don't have 1,000 RTP. Goes back. Right. Let's turn the position size, and then I'm gonna look at maybe one or two more alts and then call it. Okay, let's bring the position size down. Still makes XRP like an absolute flat line. 28,000 is crazy. It, it looks weird, but okay. Still, that's I mean, pretty impressive. Crushing XRP. I'm gonna look at some other, what has long history here? Um, what's one of the older ones? I don't know, Litecoin, on Coinbase maybe. Let's see. Okay. We're seeing relative underperformance. Let's see what we can do about that. So, well, we don't have that much risk. Yeah, but there's a lot of drawdown. So first, let's look at, I'm just curious, the dip buy only. Pretty good. I mean, 324% and 22% drawdown looks good, but maybe we could do better. Typically, I'm finding going by the close works better on alts. Yes. Um, Minimum age 15 is usually 5 is usually what works well. Trailing stop loss. You lose money all of a sudden. Okay. Now let's look at the breakout buy. Actually lost money. Amazing. Do we want high or close? Doesn't matter. Do we want minimum age to be 15? Do we want to trail? Interesting. This is one of the first ones that I saw that is actually losing money. Well, it got this awesome position here, but it never got a signal to get out. What if we put it to high? Never? What? Interesting. Uh, my butt's starting to get numb. It's about time to get out of here. Close. Well, it didn't really work. Let's just kind of look at why. Well, this one, if it took any profit, would have paid for everything. Couple small winners. This one was so choppy and needed wider stops for this to work. There's just so many failed breakouts, and then in the end hasn't really moved at all. It's just a dino coin. I guess the dip buy worked okay. I'm just gonna move on and not care that much about this one, but I mean, together they made money, and in theory it would be stopped out here. Um, okay, let's look at Cardano is another one we can look at. We want as much price history as we can get here. Okay, this looks okay. I didn't realize Cardano went back to the 2017 cycle. Okay, how are we doing on Cardano? Hugely overperformed, actually, 590%. But yeah, I mean, it starts from the first trade, right? Which was at point 0.1, and we're right now at point 0.4, so it's only up 400%, but still really good. And again, I didn't change any settings here. This is just the first blush here. 65% drawdown is fine. Let's look at low cross by low or close. Typically, I'm finding close works a lot better. Um, Indicator settings. I'm gonna update this in the group. Altcoins, breakouts generally perform better. For dips, turning close on for trigger generally improves results. So we've got the close on. Just play with this a little bit. It's 3.5. Oh, why change what works? Throw on the trail. Trail never works. Breakout buy. Yo, breakout buy is crazy. So it looks like the breakout buy is a lot better than the dip buy. No, vice versa. The breakout buy, oh, it's only 20% drawdown though, so let's see what happens if we crank up the leverage. No, it doesn't really work. Interesting. So, I mean, we can play with the breakout buy, but I don't know that it's gonna change things that much. I have the standard settings on. The only thing I like to change is look at the high versus the close. And yeah, close seems better. Close has been consistently better. So the dip buy actually outperformed. Here we had a little winner. We caught some part of this trend up, and then hasn't really done a whole lot. It looks like the dip buy actually did outperform. Let's have just the dip buy on and see. The dip buy actually, well, it doesn't make sense here because it's saying we're up 400%. What's the starting point? The starting point is the first dip buy, which is 0.13, but it's up at 0.45, so. And then in combination, I think it's going to be better, but we see, yeah, we caught this big trend here, and we're also would be in this trend over here, but then there's a couple large losses that happened here. But I'm going to have an SMA filter to to get out of this, where this trade and this trade could have not happened, but then this wouldn't have happened either. Yeah, it's tough. We'll see. Let's turn them both back on. Okay, well, in combination works pretty great. And actually, you see that we had this big drawdown here, but we're actually, price is coming, uh, made a lot of money right in here too, so that made up for it. The last one. The Yeah, I'm not understanding this so much. Absolute percentage. It's not right. Showing from the last entry. Why would it show being down if it's starting from, yeah, okay. I don't know. All right, let's do one more and call it. What's another coin with some history about it? Let's look in the top coins here. XRP, Doge, we already looked at a ton. Coin, Cardano, Sheeb. Tron's a pretty old one, right? Let's look at Tron. Tron US dollar, maybe Binance. I want to see a lot of price history going back to 2017. How do we trade this breakout? Right, I mean, it's just a glitch where November. Well, hang on. Curious. Well, first let's look if there's older price history somewhere. Bitrex. To go back further. No. Bitfinex if it has it. Otherwise, it's probably going to be. We'll try Kraken, but I think we need to look at Coinbase. Or sorry, Binance. Kraken listed at the same time, so okay, let's leave it here. So what do we notice? We actually lost money. Very interesting. Where did we lose money? Did we lose money? This is why it's important to trade multiple assets. So the dip buy, actually both sides lost money. So let's kind of look at why. Well, just having this trade would maybe do something, but I didn't really have that many smooth moves up. Let's see. I don't want to really play with it too much. Let's look at the breakout buy. It's -8. Setting it to the highs a little bit better. Turning the SMA off actually improved it a lot. So because now we could take this long at the beginning. What about taking off the minimum age of this day? Okay, that improved it um, pretty considerably, but I don't really like that because it feels way different. But that would be pretty good. I mean, you have 50% drawdown, but do 800%. It's not as good as buy and hold, but even then, I don't like the changes here. It could be running a much wider stop would be helpful. Why is it saying no trades now? Did I turn off the breakout buy? Why would it be saying no trades? Something minimum major cost highs 15, 5, close. Interesting. I mean, 60% with the 4% drawdown is pretty good. Um, just changing that to high. Okay, what about setting this at 30? That's something I like to look at sometimes. Made no difference. Okay. Um, try pyramiding, trailing. Didn't help. Let's try a wider stop. Usually doesn't help. No. 3.5 is generally the sweet spot here. Now let's take a look at, oh, maybe if we turn on the failed breakout, is that going to do work for us? No, it didn't. What about the dip buy? This lost money, right? I think we need a 200 SMA filter for this one. Um, 5% of trades are profitable. What? 17 trades. So there's like one or two winning trades. Well, actually, it's showing a loss, but it's not counting entering here and here and here and floating a massive win. So this might actually be profitable because it's not counting this. So that's kind of an issue. But yeah, okay, we learned some things. I'm gonna process. If you want the indicator, you want to work with me, work with us closer, then you can do so. There's a link down below. But have a happy time. I'm just here to work a little bit and share with you guys. Okay, much love.